From Husky Stadium for the very first time, the high school football state championships move north to DeKalb and the campus of Northern Illinois University. And we start our two-day, 8-game jamboree with a good one in Class 1A. The undefeated Vikings of Tri-Valley in search of their very first state championship in any boys sport, while Lena Winslow will try for its second title in just 4 years. A long day, but should be a fun day of football with 4 games coming up. Class 1A with Lee Wynn taking on Tri-Valley coming up. Sterling Newman taking on Staunton, the upstart Bulldogs, coming up in Class 2A. Then later on this afternoon, you'll have the Stillman Valley Cardinals going for title number 5 as they take on St. Joe Ogden in search of its first title. And then the 4A nightcapper, a lot of history involved. Rochester going for 4 straight state titles, and Geneseo in search of its first title in 32 years. And welcome into our broadcast. Matt Rodewald with you. So glad to see you here at Husky Stadium. A sunny, beautiful day. A little chilly early on, but it should warm up over the course of the next 2 days, and we should see some big crowds here at NIU. Class 1A is coming up next, and let's get a preview of that as we send it upstairs to Lee Hall and Mark Lindo. Guys?
All right, Matt Rodewald, thank you very much, and a happy Black Friday to you. We expect at least as much contact here as we would at the mall today on Black Friday. Let's talk about these games this weekend, the culmination of a long road to state that started way back last winter when they ended their seasons a year ago short of state.
No doubt about it. A lot of weight training sessions, 7-on-7 passing, dozens and dozens, hundreds of hours of films. Both teams trying to reach their apex this morning. The culmination of high school football in Illinois.
And we start with a couple of teams that like to keep the ball on the ground primarily, Tri-Valley and Lena Winslow.
Well, both teams run the football. You stop the run, you run the ball, both offensively and defensively. That's the team that will win this football game. That's the team that will be victorious all weekend long, Lee.
Lena Winslow, 3 losses on the season. Tri-Valley unbeaten coming into today's state championship game. Let's go back down to Matt.
Okay, guys, coming up next, Lena Winslow and Tri-Valley. They'll flip the coin and kick it off next here from NIU's Husky Stadium on the IHSA television network.
And the safety, number 17.
And welcome back to Husky Stadium. A full day of football coming for you today and tomorrow, and we get things started with the Class 1A state championship coming up next. The Tri-Valley Vikings and the Lena Winslow Panthers. Welcome into our broadcast once again. Thanks to all of you watching us today in Rockford and in Peoria, and also on Comcast Sportsnet Chicago. A good one coming up next, and it looks like Lena Winslow brought everybody from the state line. They're here ready to go, looking for their second state championship. Tri-Valley hasn't won a state championship in boys sports of any kind, trying to do that for the first time today. Let's preview the games. We send it upstairs to Lee and Mark, guys.
All right, Matt, thank you very much. We begin in 1A, unbeaten Tri-Valley taking on 10-3 Lena Winslow. Mark, let's talk about Tri-Valley. 13-0 coming into this ball game, run-dominant team, and they've got a couple of pretty good guys in the backfield.
Well, they got some guys to run the ball. A great 1-2 punch of Caleb Wilson, who is their career rushing leader. First team All-Stater, and then Brandon Herman, what a compliment. He's an All-Stater as well, came back from an injury, and these two guys can push the football up the field and they can extend plays.
Braden Herman, as you mentioned, one of the guys that got hurt. They had 6 guys get hurt last year, and they felt like they kind of got shortchanged and didn't make it to state. Now let's talk about their defensive All-Stater, Lucas Hammer.
First team All-State, 24 tackles for loss. He can create havoc and create blocking scheme problems for any offense. If he gets in the backfield, he's very, very dangerous.
Of course, Lena Winslow led by Tyler Oakley.
The running back that can do it all, over 1,000 yards almost in the playoffs. He does it all. He's explosive. He'll do kickoff returns as well. Mest is a good one as far as his decisions. 1,300 yards, a nice compliment to their running game.
And the defender, pre-game player that we want to take a look at, Luke Schubert.
Well, the MVP of their team, according to head coach Rick Aaron, he's the one that makes a lot of things happen for them defensively. He's explosive, and he can get tackles for loss as well.
All right, Lena Winslow getting better every week. Tri-Valley undefeated. They'll play for a state title next.
The IHSA Football Championships are proudly presented by Country Financial. Achieve financial security.
Okay, that's good.
And welcome back. We're about set for kickoff. Lena Winslow about to get started. A lot of people didn't think they could get to this point. 6 wins, though, over playoff teams. Not winning a conference title, but trying to work their way through the very difficult Northwest Upstate Illini. And they're here at NIU's Husky Stadium. We'll send upstairs Lee and Mark, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Matt Rodewald. Chloe Barnes is also on the sidelines. We will check with them throughout this game. There you get a good look at head coach Josh Roop of the Tri-Valley Vikings. They were a former co-op with Leroy. And there you get a look at the weather, 26 degrees, a little bit of a wind. It's actually a pretty nice day here in DeKalb. Rick Aaron, the head coach of Lena Winslow, won a state championship back in 2010. 17 years with the Panthers, 136 wins, 53 losses. And, you know, it's interesting, Mark, this team, Lena Winslow, in 2010 ran 61 plays in the state championship game. They ran 60 times, 1 pass. We will see a little bit more from their passing game here today, we expect anyway, but judging by what we've seen from them this season.
Well, a little bit more balance on both teams today. Now, one team going to run the football. That's the wishbone attack of Lena Winslow, but there's no doubt, again, this game in the trenches. That's where it will be won. And you know what? Usually defense wins championships. Not as much win today as we would have thought.
Adam Wright will kick it off. Lena Winslow won the coin toss and deferred. And back to receive for Tri-Valley. And watching it bounce out of bounds is Braden Herman. So it will be Tri-Valley with good field position to start here in this ball game. Tri-Valley 13-0. We mentioned they were a co-op with Leroy until 2001. They ended a 20-year co-op with Leroy, and actually Coach Roop's brother and brother-in-law played on the '96 state championship team from Leroy. So there is that history, but now Tri-Valley's going it alone. Yeah, they've made the playoffs 6 of the 7 years, so there is some productivity, consistency in that program. 2 1,000-yard rushers. Herman is the man in motion. He will get the first carry. He had a man get his hands on him, but couldn't wrap him up. And Braden Herman with a nice second effort there, almost 1,400 yards coming in, a pickup of 6.
Well, you see, they put him in motion, an inside counter, good point, a block at the point of attack, and then it was all his own make him miss action, the ability to spin off a tackle. And when you have that kind of balance and agility, you are a quality runner. That's why he's put up the numbers that he has this year.
Gus Werhane unable to wrap him up. You talked about Herman being hurt. He added 15 pounds in the weight room in the offseason, so he's a little bit tougher guy to handle. He's not just a sprinter in pads.
You see an awful lot of misdirection out of this Tri-Valley offense.
Roop keeps it himself, the sophomore quarterback, son of the coach, keeps it and has a first down for the Vikings. Pickup of 11.
You see this read right here as he fakes the handoff, and then he finds a seam on the outside. He's got blockers out in front. Good ball security right there by the quarterback. Good read, good vision.
Peyton Roop, 5'9", 155-pound sophomore, took over for an all-state quarterback and has led his team to the state championship.
That was Blake Cowden, who was a player of the year in his area last year. Big shoes to fill.
Herman's second carry. He'll be met by a host of Lena Winslow Panthers. They lost their opening game to Cerro Gordo, 26-21. They lost to Eastland Pearl City in week 5. And then lost to Galena. A 1-point loss there, and haven't lost since. 6-game win streak for the Panthers. Second and 8.
Put up 45 points in their win last week in Chicago Leo.
Herman still on his feet into the Lena Winslow secondary and has another first down for Tri-Valley. This is a team that rushed for 4,700 yards plus this season.
Little counter action. Good hole on the right side. Once he bursts through, it's just his strength and his vision. This young man ran for 1,398 yards on the football season.
Nice opening drive here for Tri-Valley.
Lena Winslow with 8 in the box right now, trying to stop this running game.
Roop keeps it, fumbles it, and it's picked up by Lena Winslow. Tyler Oakley will take it to the house. 61 yards.
We talk about ball security. That was a fine drive that was underway. But Oakley, with great speed in the open field, gets the scoop and score. Good penetration with the hit, the pick, the scoop, the score, and it was Katie bar the door, as no one is going to catch him in the open field.
Tyler Oakley's rushed for 1,500 yards this season offensively. He goes 61 yards on the fumble recovery. A great opening drive by Tri-Valley, negated by the fumble by the freshman, or the sophomore rather, and Oakley takes it in. And it's Lena Winslow trying to add to their 6-0 lead. Adam Wright, 41 of 46 this season on point after attempts.
Gus Verheyen was the big hit that caused that fumble.
Boy, a disheartening play there for Tri-Valley on a great drive, negated by the fumble and the recovery by Lena Winslow, and Tyler Oakley taking it to the house. Lena Winslow, the 7-0 lead on a 71-yard fumble recovery. Let's go downstairs to Chloe Barnes.
Hello, it's Chloe Barnes from Husky Stadium. As you just saw, the Lena Winslow Panthers just scored a 7-point touchdown. Tri-Valley, they lost in the first round of the playoffs in 2009, 2010, 11, and had a heartbreaking second-round playoff loss this past year in 2012. They're looking for great offense by Caleb Wilson and continuing to rely on their defense of scoring 10, only allowing their team to score 10.7 points per game to help them walk away with this state title. Back to you, Lee and Mark.
All right, thanks, Chloe. Well, Mark, that's pretty disheartening. 5-play drive, you gained about 30 yards and then handed over to the other team.
Well, and, you know, Peyton Roop, you know, right now he's going to have to regroup himself, because as a sophomore in this big stage, he has to be cerebral enough to come back and lead his team.
Jonah Long with the kickoff return out near the 30-yard line. 17 on the kickoff return for Jonah Long. That option, that's a tough thing for a quarterback. I mean, you split-second decisions, and that time he just probably hung onto the ball a little bit too long. Maybe.
Well, it's high risk, high reward is any kind of option football. It's all about reading the defense, and good defense and coordinators will change things up. Sometimes it's the defensive end that has pitch man, sometimes an outside linebacker, so they'll have to adjust as the game goes along.
Herman with the carry, brought down after a gain of about 4.
Braden Herman, the ball carrier.
Braden Herman averages almost 11 yards a carry. This Tri-Valley team was thinking they had a shot at a state title a year ago, had 6 starters go out with injury, and lost in the second round to Kewanee Wethersfield Anawan. On second down, here's Wilson. He gets the hard yards inside, and he's brought down after a pickup of about 4.
So defensive coordinator Kevin Milder, he is going to have to, again, he's going to have to continue to change his looks. Now, right now, 3rd and short, you know what, you'll probably see 9 in the box by the defense, because they're going to basically, you know, force a run situation to be stopped up front before they play any kind of pass defense.
3rd and 3. Option, Roop keeps it. Be very close to a first down. I think he got it. The sophomore quarterback. It's interesting to talk to Josh Roop about the relationship between him and his son. He's like, it's different now. He's my starting quarterback.
Yeah, and you know, they'll go home and they'll talk football on the way home, but then they go separate rooms, as you will. And I know we talked to them. They said the only head coach at home is Mom.
That's right. Mom's got a rule: no football at home. Here's a give to Long, a little change of pace action here for Jonah Long. 500 yards on the season, pick up a 15 for a first down.
Now they went out of I formation with the wing this time, so sometimes you go same play, different way. Long finds a seam on the outside before he's dragged down from the backside by Tyler Oakley.
2 1,000-yard rushers. The quarterback Roop over 800 yards, Long over 500 yards in the regular season. So they are a balanced attack. Here's Wilson. Flipped over and taken down inside the 30-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup.
He is their smash mouth guy. He's their power runner inside. He runs between the tackles. When he starts heading vertically north and south, just a ton to bring down is Wilson, the all-time career rushing leader.
Luke Schubert with a little World Wrestling takedown there. Broken play here. Roop will keep it himself. Pick up about 4 on first down. Let's go downstairs to Matt Rodewald.
Yeah, different look for this Lena Winslow defense since week 8. The tackle there by Hank Holm. He came back from an ACL injury that he tore in in the basketball season, I should say. Finally came back to the team in week 8. They've had a little different look as a result. A real presence on the field. Good instincts, according to Rick Oran. You can see he's right in the middle of the defense and right in the middle of the picture, putting these guys into the state championship game.
2nd and 5, backs out of the eye. It's Wilson straight ahead. Caleb Wilson wearing number 45, making his 45th consecutive start. Could that be an omen for this team here today?
Yeah, you know, he's 5'9", 185, and he'll just bulldoze you. Again, inside the tackles, he is very, very good at reading his blocks up front. They will mix both their power blocking scheme and their zone blocking scheme to confuse defenses.
First and 10 from the 18. Caleb Wilson. Not much room that time, Mark.
See 8 in the box. Hole closes very quickly. Nice tackle on the inside by Mike So, who came up and made a good stop from the secondary. They're putting 8 and 9 people in the box right now, but they still can't, basically, they can't stop this running game. They've only stopped themselves with that fumble.
7th play of the drive. Here's the give to Long. He gets down to about the 10, pickup of 3.
Now they've stayed with the running game completely. That sounds redundant, but that's what it's been. Run, 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 smash mouth football. They've done a good job as far as the balance of running off the right side and left side. They've not been too predictable that way. Pretty good as far as the misdirection and then the complement of the fullback.
3rd and 2. Herman. Brought down at about the 7-yard line. It'll be
to the inside handoff. They pull the guard from the backside. He makes a nice block at the point of attack. So the offensive line really getting off the football there.
1st and goal from the 7. We approach the 5-minute mark of this first quarter. Long is the man in motion. And the misdirection. Herman stays on his feet again, spins out of a tackle, and takes it down inside the 5 to about the 2-yard line. Braden Herman, very elusive when he carries the ball.
He's a magic man, 5'10", 180, and he has the ability, again, to make people miss. He is hitting the backfield yards after contact. That's what it's about. It's a pirouette. It's a Baryshnikov move right there in the open field.
They'll actually mark it at the 3. 2nd down for the Vikings as they try to even this game after fumbling on their first drive of this contest.
Double tight end. Let's look for Wilson to play some smash mouth.
There he goes. Hops right over the goal line, and Tri-Valley is an extra point away from tying this ball game. Wilson's 19th touchdown of the year.
Well, he just gets off the football incredibly well. Low pad level he is. Nice block. They seal the tackle on the inside. Gets the defender at the one techniques, pushes him in, and then churches out on that one. Just easy football right there as far as the running game.
Aaron Tagala, the extra point, and we are tied. 12-play drive, 70 yards, and they do it the old-fashioned way. Caleb Wilson earns it and ties this game. Back in DeKalb, Husky Stadium, Tri-Valley, Lena Winslow tied at 7. Let's take a look at Josh Roop. He played in the Leroy Tri-Valley Co-op as a player, helped coach that, and then this program began in 2001. He's been there 7 years as head coach, 52 wins, 21 losses. Rick Arend, well, what a job he's done at Lena Winslow. When you think about Northern Illinois power football, he's one of the guys, his program, state champs in 2010, back here in the state championship game today, 136 career wins.
Well, you know, he's got his program quite clearly solidified from ground level up, and you know, the people in the Lena Winslow community, they want to play football for him in that program. They run that system all the way through.
Aaron Tagala kicks it off. Oakley brings it out for Lena Winslow, and with 4:24 to go in the first quarter, Mark, we are going to see Lena Winslow run their first play from scrimmage.
That's unbelievable. That's usually bad news for you. The good news is they got a scoop and score, a fumble recovery, so they take their first possession tied at 7-7, and we'll see what they can get going as far as the trenches are concerned. They'll run a lot of double tight end, and you'll see that wishbone formation right away.
Ben Mest is their quarterback. Bad snap, fumble. Tri-Valley says they have it. My goodness. Josh Roop said before the game one of his keys was ball security, and both teams fumbling here in the first quarter.
It looked like it was Brandon Bakewell that came up with that football. There's a hit at the point of attack, and when you're around the football, good things happen.
There is a flag, apparently. No flag. Tri-Valley will try again. Here's the give to Wilson right up the middle for a couple of yards.
Here's a previous play. The ball never came up. The exchange never came up clean between center and quarterback, and that's what caused the trouble right away. It's Ben Mest just wasn't able to take care of it from the get-go.
So both quarterbacks have mishandled the football here in the opening quarter. Maybe a little state championship game jitters. Hard to say.
And you got total plays. Tri-Valley has a ton.
Herman, not much room that time.
Braden Herman, the ball carrier.
Dylan Oberle in on the tackle there.
Yeah, Lena Winslow, a cool day, but their defense, they got hands on their hips already. They've been on the field quite a bit, and we'll try to check total plays, but it's got to be something like 15-1, if not more than that, as it's Tri-Valley that's just taking an opportunity with this field position now.
Well, you talk about time of possession.
Yeah.
It's a little lopsided right now.
20-1 plays run. Just an unreal statistic.
3rd and 4. Herman tries to bounce outside. He loses it. And picked up again by Oakley. And he's going to take it all the way again. Tyler Oakley, his second fumble recovery of the ball game.
That is unbelievable. 2 fumble recoveries, scoop and score in a game, in a quarter, in 3 possessions.
70 yards on the return. He's got 131 yards in return so far, a 61-yard fumble recovery and a 70-yard fumble recovery. How often does the football bounce up that cleanly to a defensive back?
Yeah, and once again, it was Gus Werhane on the hit, so what a tremendous tandem those two guys are. And how many times in a football game do you run one play out of 21 and you're ahead 14-7? Unreal what we're seeing in quarter number 1.
Crazy start here to this 1A state championship. Adam Wright on for the extra point. So with one offensive play from scrimmage, and that being a fumble, Lena Winslow leads 14-7.
Well, there's a handoff. He tries to get outside, and as we're hanging, I believe, again, the second time that he's forced the fumble. And then, again, Oakley's a chance to make his miss. Just strong and powerful in the open field. 5'10", 180, and chiseled. Look at that upper body strength. He knew he was getting to the house. Welcome home. The door was open.
Yeah, he's taken up residence in that end zone so far, hasn't he? 800 yards plus rushing in the playoffs, and able to add to his team offensively from the defensive side of the ball.
Well, it's unreal. The Panthers find themselves ahead 14-7 with just an exhilarating sideline right now, and they've run one offensive play and they fumbled on that, and yet they're ahead. So strange things happen. You know, the football is oblong. It's not round, and it takes some silly bounces. And you mentioned it. What are the odds not just to fumble, but that it's come up and basically bounced in his hands in stride? But you know what? Again, nose for the ball. If you're around the ball, good things happen. You know, defensive coaches love guys that get their hat to the football. You get your hat to the football. You know, if you're around a play, then if you're a playmaker, you will get the job done.
Boy, if this is any indication of what we're in store for here this weekend, you don't want to go very far from your television. 2:51 to play first quarter. A wild start here to IHSA football in DeKalb. And another guy that's getting worn out is Adam Wright. He's been on the field a lot too. His third kickoff, he's just going to give a little pooch kick here, and now a fair catch called for Joe Robinson. Or check that.
Derek Wegman, fair catch for Tri-Valley.
Tri-Valley with the fair catch. I didn't catch the number on that. It was the up guy for Tri-Valley. I believe it was Derek Wegman now. Tri-Valley will take over here at their own 28. They've moved the ball well, Mark, just not taking care of it.
Yeah, you know what? They have 31 takeaways on the season, but their giveaways is what's been the issue here today. Usually they win that battle.
Herman fights for 3 yards out across the 30. The defense earning their pay today.
Tackle by number 4, Brendan Elders, gain of 2 yards.
Well, Rick Aaron told us that Gus Verhane, 54, the guy that's made both those hits, can run you down from behind, and he's done that. Good defensive ends. What they do is they hold, contain, and then from the backside, the blind side, they can run down running backs.
2nd and 8 for the Vikings. Group the handoff to Wilson, and he gets a pretty good gain there, about 5 yards. And the thing is, you think, Mark, well, this defense has been out there quite a while for Lena Winslow. That's probably not as big a factor in a 1A game where a lot of these guys play both sides of the ball anyway.
Yeah, you know, they played 13 football games, and they're probably out there most of the plays each and every night. But you know what? You're sitting back on your heels a little bit defensively when you've been pushed around, you know, but then the big play happens, and you get back on your tiptoes, don't you?
3rd and 3. Here comes Herman from the left side. He's going to be held short. And we'll have our first punt of the game.
Tackled by 17, Colton.
See an inside handoff, and he's not able to head north and south as, again, the outside linebacker and the defensive end both held contained. Very, very solid defense.
Tyler Oakley has tied a Class 1A record with 2 fumble recoveries. He has set a 1A record with a 70-yard fumble recovery return for touchdown. Wegman will punt it away now with under a minute to go here in the second. He gets it away, and Lena Winslow will let it bounce. He'll take a little bit of a roll for the Vikings. And the Panthers will run their second play from scrimmage. How about that?
Panthers with their second snap, as you mentioned, with a 14-7 lead. Now, usually hear that score, you think somebody's nuts. Usually hear that score, you think it's special teams. But it's the defense that has been, let's call it, it's been pushed around a little bit. But you know what? 2 big plays parlayed into touchdowns. When you get points off turnovers.
And a nice play there defensively for Lucas Hammer, the All-Stater. He gets in and wraps up the Lena Winslow runner, Oakley.
Lucas Hammer, we talked about his, I think he 315 tackles on the season, and he can just run you down from the backside. He can get a good nose for the football, very, very disruptive to blocking schemes of any offense.
25 tackles for loss coming into this game. Loss of a yard, 2nd and 11. Oakley caught in the backfield again. Patrick Kinsella was one of the first guys there for Lena, for Tri-Valley rather.
It's all about penetration.
Well, the story so far in this ball game is Tyler Oakley, not for his offensive prowess, but his fumble recovery prowess. Right place, right time. He's taken 2 back, and that's the scoring for Lena Winslow. 2 fumble recoveries for touchdown and a 14-7 lead.
As we get set to start the second quarter, 14-7, Lee win on top, and the story is Tyler Oakley and his fumble returns. You know, he's had a long road to get back to this point with 2 ACL injuries. He blew out the same knee twice, once in 8th grade, then again as a sophomore, trying to get that breakaway gear. He didn't really have it. Finally saw it. The coaches, Rick Aran, finally say they saw it last week against Leo. And Lee and Mark, you and I saw it in the first quarter twice.
Amazing first quarter. And Lena Winslow to throw, and it's right in the hands of Luke Schubert, but he can't hang on to it.
Well, you talk about the first quarter being Tyler Oakley, the storyline. Second storyline, 11:05 to 55 seconds time of possession for the Vikings. They ran 23 plays to 3, yet we have the Panthers on top 14-7. So that just doesn't add up. Sometimes athletics doesn't add up, but Oakley the storyline, and Merhane with the hits.
Yeah, this is, you can throw those traditional indicators of winning out the window in this game, can't you?
There's no doubt. And, you know, again, it's always about regrouping. It's always about the next play. And that's what you got to show your football team.
Timeout on the field. Let's go downstairs to Chloe Barnes.
Hello, everyone. During the conference call we had earlier in the week with Coach Roop, he said that one of the main reasons this team has been so successful is because of their 3 captains, Lucas Hammer, Braden Herman, and Caleb Wilson. Ironically enough, all 3 of the captains have suffered extreme injuries on their quest, to the state title game. Caleb Wilson, for example, was ran over by a mail truck when he was 4 years old, and here he is still today. Coach Roop and everyone else around the community definitely values these players, not only for their perseverance on the field, but off the field as well. Back to you, Lee and Mark.
You know, Caleb Wilson, when he's run over by a truck, a mail truck, they gave him a 10% chance of survival. He had 2 cardiac arrest, situations during that time. And then I think he was back in like 2 weeks out running around again. So that just shows the perseverance he has, and that's carried over to every time he makes a play. He's thankful for that play. You know, the old one day at a time, Caleb Wilson lives that way.
It's an amazing story, no doubt. The punt by Ben Mest is looked like off the side of his foot. It's like one of my 8-irons.
21 yards.
21 yards.
Take over at the Lena Winslow 49-yard line.
Well, you know, the one thing about it, he's looking like he's trying to get an angle and a little bit of a drop. He let that ball drop a little bit too far. He knew it right away. As you see his disgust, his reaction was right there for him. So he knew he didn't get it. Again, kind of like your 8-iron.
Exactly like
yeah, no, but I mean, he knew he didn't get it immediately, just like you know when you botch a shot, which is quite often for you.
It sounded like the 8-iron too, just like a thud. Caleb Wilson trying to wrestle his way forward. As we get a flag on the play. That's not unusual because he is a wrestler, 6th at state a year ago, and a member of the 2010 team champions.
Inside handoff, as you see those legs churning for extra yards. He carries a couple defenders with him.
Brendan Elder's got a handful of face masks there, so it'll be stepped off against Lena Winslow. Yeah, the Caleb Wilson story is unbelievable. I talked to him earlier this year about that, and he was 4 years old at the time, doesn't really remember it. He says he does remember going for the helicopter ride, and says he saw angels.
Yeah.
Now he says it's probably the medicine, but there's no doubt that his recovery and his survival in itself is a miracle, because he was broken bones, just punctured lungs. I mean, it's horrific to read the injuries he sustained at a young age.
Well, Wilson and Herman are both 4-year starters. So when you have your two best players, you know, that have been around for, what, 40-something odd games, in Wilson's case 45, you've done something.
Well, and Wilson is 45th start in a row.
See Roop take the hit as he made the read there. Second and short, offensive coordinator's dream. See the double wing formation.
Long and Herman on the ends. Wilson behind Roop. He'll keep it himself that time and nowhere to go. A host of tacklers. Hank Holm in there on the tackle, and Matt talked about him coming back from a torn ACL and missed basketball season. He said, I've got a real chip on my shoulder, because he didn't come back till week 8 this year, so he's got a real chip on his shoulder trying to make up for lost time, those games he didn't get to play his senior year.
Well, you know, there's only, in high school football, there's only 9 guaranteed times on stage. Now this is, you know, the state championship. You can't get a bigger stage than this, and today was guaranteed once they won their semifinal game. But yeah, we got to appreciate each and every week. Quarterback draw.
Roop again on 3rd and 2. And he's got a first down for Tri-Valley. 868 yards on the ground this season for the sophomore quarterback.
You see what he sees, and that is he took one step up, did Roop. Then he went off his left tackle, made a good read, squared his shoulders up. See the whole defense collapses into the A and B gap on the inside. He takes it outside. Good sleight of hand by the quarterback, Roop.
1st and 10 from the 35. 14-7, the Lena Winslow lead on 2 Tyler Oakley fumble recoveries for touchdown. Herman in motion. It gives to Wilson. Well, he had so much room there, he wasn't sure where to go. Takes it outside now, still on his feet inside the 10. Touchdown, Caleb Wilson. 35 yards on the touchdown run.
Cue up the highlight film on that one, because he did a good job eluding one man. He planted his right foot. When he gets into the second level, we'll get a chance to see him plant his right foot. There's the quarterback read, the handoff. There's the cut, right foot. Yeah. Then he goes vertical. Then he makes a man miss, and then he stutter steps. I mean, that's a lot of rumbling, stumbling, and bumbling for a big guy to be able to have that kind of agility to change pace and change direction in open spaces.
Aaron Tagala, the extra point to tie it, is good. 5 plays, 49 yards, only 2:17. It didn't take long. Caleb Wilson, I love this. He gets outside and like, whoop, there he goes. Saw a wall and takes it home. We are tied with 9:33 to go in the second. Welcome back to DeKalb. Lee Hall, Mark Lindo, Matt Rodewald, Chloe Barnes. 14 all here in the second quarter. Been a wild one here to start things off. We've got more football coming your way from Husky Stadium. Up next is Sterling Newman Central Catholic taking on Staunton, the Cinderella of this year's state championships. Stillman Valley and St. Joe Ogden will play for the 3A title, and then look at the history there. Geneseo Maple Leafs taking on Rochester, going for 4 in a row. That will cap things off here tonight, and 4 more games tomorrow, 5A through 8A tomorrow here in DeKalb. There's Caleb Wilson, just tied this game. Tri-Valley to kick. And it's Olson returning it for Lena Winslow, and he's hit and brought down at about the 30-yard line. Jace Olson with the return of 15.
Get a chance to see Caleb Wilson once again on this scintillating touchdown run. He's at the fullback position, lined up about 2 yards behind his quarterback group. They put a man in motion, see him hit the hole, make the first man miss, then plants his right foot. Then he shows some speed and acceleration. Then he goes a little hesitation move. 19th touchdown of the season for Caleb Wilson to go with over 1,300 yards. What a powerful back he is.
Here's the pitch to Tyler Oakley. And here's more of those crazy offensive numbers, Mark. 145 yards rushing for Tri-Valley, -3 for Lena Winslow.
Yeah, just obscene right there. 145 yards on the ground. You'd think you'd be ahead, don't you?
Yeah.
In just a quarter of play. We talked about the time of possession Tri-Valley enjoys, but, you know, turnovers are a big part of any athletic event. And, of course, we've had the 2 scoop and scores on the football game by Caleb Wilson for Tri-Valley.
13:22 to 105 on the time of possession. Here's Olsen trying to get outside to the left side, and it's out there a couple of yards shy of a first down.
Chase Olsen on the counter. They get a blocker out in front of him, but a good job extending the play and turning the play back in by Peyton Roop coming up to the defensive cornerback position as Mesty's got his blocker out in front of him. You see right there that Werhane was looking for somebody to block, but there was nobody there as Tri-Valley did a good job extending the play. You extend the play defensively and allow your teammates to gang up on a ball carrier. You usually are very successful defensively.
3rd and 2. Oakley met at the line of scrimmage trying to reach for that first down. Did he get there? It'll be very close.
All about the mark right here.
Tyler Oakley, 5'10", 180-pound senior with those 2 great fumble recoveries for touchdown. And with an extra effort, Oakley gets the first down.
Tyler Oakley has 20 touchdowns of his own right, 1,506 yards. He's going to be a preferred walk-on. I think he'll be at Wisconsin next year. Look at that pile move and Oakley's lower body drive, and then that second effort as he tries to elongate the football, knowing where the stick was at.
Josh Roop not agreeing with that spot on the other sideline. Yeah, Oakley, the MVP of the camp, held up at Wisconsin. They liked what they saw. Here's Ben Schubert up the gut. He just
Ben Schubert on the carry.
taking it up the middle there. Let's go down to Matt Rodewald.
Well, you guys are talking about Tyler Oakley. How about that offensive line in front of him? A lot of them were in the backfield last year. Dylan Oberle went from fullback to left guard. Gus Werhane went from tight end and fullback 2 years ago to right guard. They're really, really strong up front. And when you talk to Gus, he says, you know, the real key is communication. When we communicate and we know what we're doing, we can really move people. They had nearly 250 yards on the ground last week against Mercer County, or I should say against Stockton, last year's 1A runner-up. So an opponent that's familiar with them, they're able to move the ball from time to time. We'll see if they can actually get some plays on the field in order to do that here in the second quarter.
All right, Matt, that was just the first down by the Lena Winslow offense. They haven't been out there very much today. That pass from Mest intended for Matt Green. It was a little bit behind him, so that's 2 attempts and nothing to show for it so far.
Yeah, they went play action pass. It looked like he was open, but Green just tried to turn upfield before he caught the football.
Tri-Valley does a good job of sniffing out that run. Schubert met at the line of scrimmage. That defensive line doing a good job for Tri-Valley. Kinsella, Hammer, Bakewell, Morgan up front.
Straight inside handoff. They go off the left side, but the gaps were filled. Both of these teams basically, you know, daring each other to throw the football. We talked about the game being one of the trenches. You see 8 defenders at least on every play in the box from a defensive standpoint between the tackles offensively.
See if Mest can get a better punt off this time. Herman will field it at his own 22-yard line, and he brought down after a pickup of about 10.
33 yards on the punt.
33 yards on the kick. They'll give him 13 on the return. Tri-Valley back on offense.
Begins its drive at its own 34-yard line.
Well, Tri-Valley has a chance right here to make a statement. They've already done so, moving the football. But their running game has been almost unstoppable. They just have to make sure that they keep that ball security that they did on the last drive to culminate with a touchdown.
Here's the give to Wilson. He gets outside a little bit, shakes one tackler, and is close to a first down. Caleb Wilson showing the power. 5'9", 185 senior.
Well, you know, right now there's great symmetry between Caleb Wilson and his offensive line. What I mean by that is an offensive line gets in rhythm. They're getting off the football right now. Wilson gets in rhythm. They feed off each other.
He just refuses to go down. Lena Winslow calls timeout here. 6:09 to go, second quarter. We're all even. And we are back. Husky Stadium in DeKalb. First time here. Kind of like it.
Nice vantage point from up here, and a great, you know, they said it was going to be cold. As long as that sun stays out, not a whole lot of wind factor. That's why we haven't talked about it. A great day for 4 champions to be crowned here in DeKalb.
The storied Newman Central Catholic program up next against upstart Staunton. Then it's Stillman Valley and St. Joe Ogden for the 3A title, followed by Geneseo in Rochester. 1st and 10, Tri-Valley. Roop hangs on to it himself, picks up a couple.
Now this Tri-Valley line, Mike Edwards, left guard's only 5'10". Left tackle Brandon Bakewell's 5'10". On the right side, Lucas Hamer's 5'10", and Mike Sorensen on the right side, tackle 6'2". So they're not big, but they know how to play. They know each other. It's anchored by Mike McCarty, the center at 5'10", 205. They've been together a while. They know their roles, and they know all they got to do is hold their block at the first level, and they have running backs that can make plays for them.
Josh Roop says it's one of the most complete offensive lines we've had since he's been here. Wilson with the run, and the thing I love, because I can't stand the cold weather, you look at their offensive linemen, none of them wear long sleeves, and that Hammer says we don't allow that. That's when you're moving around, it doesn't get cold, and that's part of our sign of solidarity and the fact, hey, the weather doesn't affect us, we're tough and you can't stop us.
4 seniors and 1 sophomore in that offensive line. They love to block counter plays. They love to block both zone and man-to-man. Zone plays are usually the best because it allows a running back to use his vision when he reads the zone where his blockers are going at the point of attack.
3rd and 6. Roop brought down from behind. Matt Green, the 6', 175-pound senior, will force a 4th down for Tri-Valley.
When you get a linebacker that can make plays like that coming from the boundary side and just stay with the play, showing great speed in open spaces. Great defensive teams have players that make plays in space, one-on-one. When you can bring people down, you stay out of explosive opportunities for any offense.
For Lena Winslow.
Derek Wegman to kick. Boy, nice high spiral. Oakley waves at it. Not sure why he touched it, but he did, and he's going to be, well, he's touched inside the 5 and now brought down at the 6-yard line. Not sure he shouldn't have just let that go, Mark.
Yeah, he discretion the better part of valor there.
Once it went over his head, he probably would have been wiser to just let it go.
Well, your job is to, anytime you're inside the 10-yard line, to let it go and hope that it gets in the end zone. So that's basically a situation of spatial awareness is what you have to have, knowing where you're at on a football field at all time.
Spatial awareness, I like that.
And a little coach speak right there. I didn't know it was coming out, but that's good.
That's good. Here's Oakley with the carry now on 1st down. It's a little breathing room.
Back by number 2, Logan Dressel.
Pickup of about 4 there. Well, and this is a synthetic turf, and it's a little bit different for the kids too. They don't play on that every week.
Well, Stockton eliminated this team last year in the quarterfinals. You mentioned that. They've been around for a while. They've been in some state situations. This team was not ranked at the final poll.
Pick up about 3 there for Oakley.
Tackled by 63, Brandon Bakewell.
I see the defense again making Bakewell a nice job, and then coming in late to clean up was also Tristan Toney. So good job by the Vikings getting to the football, and this is an absolutely critical play as far as field position for Lena Winslow. If you have a play action pass, it'd be a good time to find your tight end, but they're in a wishbone set.
1 of 3 on 3rd down. Was it a complete pass or was it incomplete? I think they're going to say complete pass and recovered by Tri-Valley, or no?
There's no official call yet, and it was a play-action pass out of the wishbone, double tight end. If it's a catch, it's got to be a fumble and a recovery. That was inbounds. We get a chance to look at it here. There it is. There's the hit, the strip. What a great hit. Good hit coming at the football. Now, did he recover before he got out of bounds?
Well, there's no instant replay here.
Tristan
Elders was the receiver.
Jared Nelson on the recovery fouled the play, but was he in bounds?
A break here for Tri-Valley.
There's the
catch
and the hit.
Fumble. But look here.
Drussel, and then you see Nelson. Is he out of bounds? He apparently is with his right foot.
Roop on the keep, and he's going to take it all the way. Josh Roop. Peyton Roop. Not dad, but son. 17 yards.
5'9", 155 as they take points off. Turnovers after the fumble recovered by Jared Nelson. And you got a little bit of giddy up in the step right now. The fake handoff, you know what? Wilson draws an awful lot of attention, the fake handoff there. And then the nice read by Peyton Roop off his right side of his offensive line. He got to the second level, and he didn't find a black shirt around him.
Extra point is good for Tagala. He was 63 of 72 coming into this game, and it's 21-14.
There's
More points off turnovers.
Nice picture of Roop right there. See, there's the read, there's the fake. And it's amazing. Wilson actually made a block as a decoy there. They faked the handoff to him. Then he knocked out the defensive end. So when you have that kind of ability with your fullback, you can make some plays as a quarterback. And Tri-Valley ahead 21-14 at this juncture.
Peyton Roop had 53 yards and a touchdown in the semifinal win over Maroa Forsyth. And here's that play again. I'm not sure who that was that actually recovered it.
36, that would be Jared Nelson, who again fouled the play really well. And Elders with a nice catch, but the strip was made almost as the time the ball arrived, so to the right hand. And again, turnover is a big key of this first half, and that's one of the biggest plays at this juncture of the entire football game for Tri-Valley.
21 points total now off turnovers. Oakley, the 2 fumble recoveries, that touchdown run by Peyton Roop. Caleb Wilson has 2 touchdown runs for Tri-Valley. It's been a wild first half, to say the least. That's a great thing about sports. Usually you see it in baseball, things you have never seen before, and we've seen it here today. There's Olsen winning, and a nice open field tackle and another fumble. But the Panthers get it back. My goodness, a nice open field tackle there. Looked like Derek Wegman on the tackle. The fumble, and then Lena Winslow is lucky they got this back.
Good job staying in lanes.
No,
and just a crushing hit by Caleb Wilson. Ball comes loose. I tell you what, when he pops you, you'll feel it for another day or two.
And who recovers the fumble?
Yeah,
but Tyler Oakley.
Yeah, he's around the football, no doubt about it. A nose for the ball. You know what? Those are things you cannot coach. Those are things you cannot coach.
That's a state finals record now. 3 fumble recoveries, 1 game. He's got the ball in his hands again and room to run out near the 40-yard line before he's finally dragged down across the 40 after a pickup of 43.
Well, you see him in the open spaces. Hamer's going to drag him down over the backside, but look at his vision. There's a nice deke to the outside, then a cut to the inside. A cut back against the grain, and Hamer runs him back at 5'10", 190, all the way from his position on the interior defensive line.
1st and 10 for the Panthers. It's Oakley again to the right side. He picks up about 5. And Matt talked earlier about the injuries this kid has gone through. Tore his ACL, the same one twice. As a sophomore, he tore his ACL in week 3 of football and still came back and ran track that season, so not only injury prone but a tough kid as well.
And then he turned his ankle the very first carry this year and was not really 100% till the last couple weeks.
Oakley gets the pitch, gets a little room to run outside, where he's brought down by Jared Nelson.
You think of the perseverance. You talk about 2 surgeries, and then you turn your ankle on the very first play of your senior season. You got to think, oh no, not again. Now he's been able to stay in the lineup, and he's basically been, mending as he's played throughout the course of this season.
3rd and 1. Mest keeps it himself, and he'll have a first down. Well, and you've seen how Tyler Oakley has gotten better by looking at his numbers. He's got over 800 yards in the playoffs.
Yeah, and his coaching staff told us this morning he might be over 1,000, and that's just his ability right now to go the next level, play on adrenaline, and know that he's on the stage for the final time. That's what this weekend's all about, guys on stage for the final time.
Minute 14 to go here in the first half. And look at that action there defensively by Patrick Kinsella, dragging Oakley down from behind.
Kinsella with a great individual play from his backside. You see the handoff on the inside. Kinsella stays with it, gets into the gap, shoots the A gap very early. And then with his own speed of his own right, Kinsella at 5'10", 175 makes a play.
We're just whetting your appetite here today on the day after Thanksgiving. Oh, I think I'm still full from all that turkey. Newman Central Catholic, Mike Poposi's program, back in the state championship game, taking on Staunton. This is the 7th state championship game for head coach Mike Poposi. Stillman Valley, it's just not a state finals weekend without Stillman Valley, is it? They take on St. Joe Ogden for the 3A title, followed by Geneseo and Rochester.
Well, Rick Aran said we weren't very good early. We weren't picked very high. We had a lot of question marks. That team graduated 17 seniors from last year. And at 10-3, we said at the end of the season, obviously they came in 6-3. They weren't ranked, but what a great playoff run it has been for Lena Winslow.
Second and 13 from their own 48-yard line. Mest to throw. Here comes pressure, and he's brought down. Shoestring tackle there by Dylan Morgan. 6'3", 225-pound senior.
Well, Dylan Morgan just fights off a block on the inside, uses that 6'3" strength. Good picture of him right there. You see the drop back, you're going to get credit for a sack, and he just fought off, came in the gap of 2 different blockers and makes a solo tackle low where he knows Mest can't get away from him.
And the big fella fired up after coming up with the quarterback sack. And Coach Roop says our quickness on the line has given everyone trouble all year, and there were 2 or 3 guys that were putting on some pretty good pressure there.
Well, you talk about speed in your skill positions, but speed in both the lines are so important as well. Whether it's an offensive lineman blocking, they want to make a block at the first level. That's the point of attack. Great offensive lineman block at the second level and spring their runners. Now, from a defensive standpoint, speed-wise, it's all about spinning, agility, rushing a quarterback, being able to run off twists on the inside, exchange of each other, and confusing blocking schemes. So it's not just the skill guys that need speed, it's the big hogs up front. When they can run, it gives you another added dimension to both the interior lines, whether it's offense or defense.
3rd and 20. Mest under pressure again. He's going to go down again.
Look at that picture. 4 white shirts around Mest. A picture tells 1,000 words. It wasn't a one-man sack. That was a team sack right there.
The entire defensive line, Kinsella, Hammer, Bakewell, Morgan.
They were rushing,
introducing themselves.
Yeah, look at that. 1, 2, 3. And there's another man in to finish it up. 4 white shirts around the football. Just great team defense. And you got to give the secondary some good coverage downfield as Mest was looking, and then had no one to go to, and then no more time to buy.
Look like Black Friday shoppers out there going for a bargain, didn't they?
No doubt. I don't mess with that. I don't know about you.
No. I stay up here far away from all that.
There's not a better place to be. The Husky Stadium right now this weekend for the 8 championship games.
A little different venue. We've been doing this for almost 30 years. The first state championship game we covered was at Northwestern.
Yeah.
So it's bounced around. It was at Illinois State, U of I, and now here. Under a minute to go now. It's 4th down for Lena Winslow.
Josh Roop looking on very intently.
Ben Mess to punt. Braden Herman back to receive. He'll let that one go on. That was off the right side of the foot, and Ben Mest has had a little trouble with the punt. That's a couple of those he's kicked off the side of his foot. Kick of just 19 there.
And you know, quite clearly it's very cold in the football. The leather football will not carry as much with the air inside that, but yeah, you're right. He has not hit either of his last 2 punts solidly whatsoever. And again, you got a short field to deal with, but only 40 seconds.
No, it doesn't matter how much time is left. Tri-Valley's going to run it.
Yeah, 0 passes on the game.
There's Herman. We haven't heard much of him lately with the success of Wilson.
Great Herman, ball carrier for Tri-Valley.
Might as well get up and try to run 2 more plays, because as you were alluding to, they can bust one from 45 yards in a heartbeat.
Tri-Valley is out of timeouts. That's right. I mean, the ball came out, but it was after the whistle, I believe.
Herman again, the ball carrier.
(21-14). Lena Winslow trailing Tri-Valley here.
And they're going to run it out, get to halftime with that lead.
Lena Winslow's 2 ventures into the end zone, courtesy of fumble recoveries by Tyler Oakley. Wilson 2 touchdown runs for Tri-Valley, and Peyton Roop with a touchdown run after a fumble recovery that was a little bit questionable. A bit of a break for Tri-Valley, and they will take a 21-14 lead into the locker room here in DeKalb. Game 1 of an 8-game championship weekend here in Northern Illinois. Back with more from Husky Stadium right after this.
Welcome back to Husky Stadium. Halftime of our first game of the day, Class 1A, and so far a 21-14 lead for the Vikings, who've overcome 2 turnovers, 2 scoop and scores to lead here at the break at Class 1A. Take a look at a whole slate of games we have for you today. Class 1A, of course, going on right now between Lena Winslow and Tri-Valley. Coming up next, Newman Central Catholic of Sterling will take on the upstart Staunton Bulldogs. They have the longest trip up here to DeKalb. After that, Stillman Valley and St. Joe Ogden for the Class 3A title, and then a lot of history in our 4A game. Rochester going for 4 straight state championships, taking on Geneseo, the perennial power, one of the most successful programs in the state of Illinois. Those 2 will do battle for the Class 4A championship coming up next. Let's check in to see what the Vikings head coach had to say. Let's send it over to Chloe Barnes.
Coach, after 2 fumbles early in the first half, how did you guys recover?
You know, we talked about last night how bad things happen in great football games, and you have got to be, you know, able to overcome it and stay together. And, you know, obviously we had 2 of the worst things that could possibly happen in the first half, and I'm real proud of the way the guys recovered.
Well, now, you know, 21-14, you guys are ahead. What do you tell your team, you know, 2 quarters away from a state championship?
Well, they got to keep playing. Lena's a great team, but you tell them, you know, you played about as poorly as you could play. With, you know, had 2 major mistakes there, and you're ahead in this football game. So we got to keep playing defense the way we're playing, and we, you know, make a couple adjustments. We should be all right.
Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Matt.
All right, Chloe, thank you very much. Halftime again, Tri-Valley and Lena Winslow. The guys will have halftime stats and highlights coming up next here on the IHSA Television Network. 21-14, Tri-Valley with the lead on Lena Winslow. Here's your schedule once again for the day. We've got 8 games coming for you the next 2 days. 4 of them today, 3 more to come up. Sterling Newman Central Catholic and Staunton will be next up on the slate, set to kick at 1 o'clock. Then it's Stillman Valley taking on St. Joseph Ogden. SJO and the Spartans coming up here trying to get their first state championship in 5 tries. And then Geneseo and Rochester a little bit later on, and they'll schedule to kick at 7 o'clock. It's been a very interesting first half. If you've been watching us here, our Class 1A game, the Leewin Panthers ran all of 1 offensive play for 11 minutes and 40-some-odd seconds. They had the 14-7 lead. Not very often you see 131 all-purpose yards before they even touch the football, but that's how it happened. And somehow Tri-Valley managed to overcome all that with the lead here at the break. Let's check upstairs and say hi to Lee Hall and Mark Lindo, guys.
All right, Matt Rodewell, thank you very much. Well, I think, Mark, you have to say that turnovers were the story in that first half.
Well, turnovers and then the points off turnovers, 183 yards of rushing offense. Are you kidding me for Tri-Valley? 183 total yards to 34. That's the storyline. But, you know, the 2 big turnovers, Oakley can do some things when he's around the football. Katie bar the door on 2 fumble recoveries and 3 for the afternoon.
He's got over 160 all-purpose yards, a 70-yard touchdown on a fumble recovery, a 61-yard recovery. Other than that, though, offensively, from the line of scrimmage, Lena Winslow has not been able to move the ball against that Tri-Valley defense.
No, Tri-Valley has done a good job mixing up their defensive fronts. They've gone with a 4-man front. They've gone with a 5-man front. They've brought their linebackers a few times. And up front, they have really, really dominated the line of scrimmage.
Tri-Valley, you look at Caleb Wilson. He's got almost 100 yards in the first half, a couple of touchdown runs. They're very efficient. They don't do a lot, but they do it well.
Well, he's a bulldozer. We talked about him being the career scoring or the career rushing leader. Right. He's got 20 touchdowns on the season. And you know what? His ability, I think, Lee, to not just run over people, but run around people, his agility, his ability to make people miss makes him a very special player at 5'10".
21-14, our halftime score. Tri-Valley trying to go unbeaten and win a state championship. We've got highlights and stats coming your way next from DeKalb on the IHSA TV network. And welcome back to DeKalb Husky Stadium. 21-14, our halftime score. It's Tri-Valley with the 7-point lead, and this young man's on the football team and playing in the band. In a small school, man, you got to do a lot of everything, right?
Multi-talented, no doubt about that, and that's what small school opportunities provide these student athletes.
All right, well, there's been a few sour notes offensively for both teams. Caleb Wilson with a couple of touchdown runs, but it's Tyler Oakley with the fumble recoveries for a touchdown. Neither team has taken particularly great care of the ball in the first half.
Well, a good hit and a good nose for the football right there. And Oakley just takes it to the house. He knew it from about 15 yards out, but you know what? He's not done yet, because there's another script. It was Werhane and Oakley right there to pick it up in stride again. And unbelievable, that happened twice in the same quarter, in the same couple possessions.
He recovered one more fumble in the first half to break a state record, title game record, that is. Here's Caleb Wilson, not as flashy, but boy, he gets the job done.
Well, he had 2 touchdowns. That one from 3 yards out off his left side, and then another one from 36 yards out. This one shows a little bit of make and miss, a little bit of magic in open spaces. Look at him rumbling and a little bit of change of pace. And he knows where the end zone's at. His 22nd of the season.
Here's a fumble that was recovered, or was it?
Well, the ruling on the field stands, and we don't have any replays in the Illinois High School Association, so that set up this touchdown.
Peyton Root from 17 yards out. He atoned for an earlier fumble, and it's a 21-14 lead for Tri-Valley as we look at those first half numbers, and they're going to be very lopsided in favor of Tri-Valley, because other than those 2 fumble recoveries for touchdown, Lena Winslow didn't have any offense in the first half.
Well, you look at the total yards, and that tells a story, and Lena Winslow very fortunate. They're only trailing by 1 score right there, but Tri-Valley 5.2 yards per play, very impressive. The time of possession, they've owned the football in half number 1.
Tri-Valley lost both of their turnovers. Lena Winslow able to recover one of theirs. So if you're Lena Winslow, if you're Rick Aaron and you're in the locker room, what are you telling your team right now, both sides of the ball?
Well, you're telling your team something that I mentioned the first half. The next play is the thing. Regroup. We have a lot of football to be played. That's the last half of your careers. You're still chasing a title, and they'll stay with their game plan. There's no doubt about it. They'll stay with their game plan. I think they might try to mix in a little bit more play action passing, especially when they have the win. So we'll take a look at that and try to keep the defense a little bit more honest, because they're putting 8 and 9 in the box is Tri-Valley consistently.
And now Josh Roop has to live with a lead here, I guess you could say. I mean, they've done very well moving the football all first half, 183 yards, I believe you said.
Well, it's all about ball control for them. Now, ball control and ball security, because they've shown the ability to rush the football up and down the field. I don't think that'll change the second half. I don't know if you can make an adjustment you haven't already broken down with tons of game film that you watched over the course of the last week. But right now, it's just, can they take care of the football and get that 2-possession opportunity? If they do, it'll be tough to catch up for either one of these teams to play catch-up football.
2 quarters of football left in the 1A season, and we will have it for you right here. Don't go away. Tri-Valley trying to stay unbeaten and win its first ever state championship.
21-14 deficit facing Lena Winslow here as they head out for the second half. Coach, not a lot of offensive plays in that first quarter. You're able to get 2 fumble recoveries for a touchdown, but still, what do you got to do offensively to sustain some drives?
Well, exactly right. We got to keep their offense off the field, and we're having a hard time doing that. First of all, we got to play more sound defense, get some 3 and outs, and we got to put them in 3rd and long situations, what they're not accustomed to. And then on the offensive side, we just got to sustain a couple plays in a row. We're getting 1 or 2 here and there, but we're putting ourselves in difficult positions on 3rd down.
Let's go back to defense. Are they doing anything different, anything surprising you as far as what they're scheming in that first half?
No, they're just out quicking us and getting to our linebackers, and we got to adjust to the speed of the game a little bit. And we're not used to being out quicked.
As a tough call that didn't go your way, it's hard for the kids to kind of get back together. And how do you get them refocused here to start the second half?
Yeah, that's what I told them at half. We kind of lost our composure there a little bit after that, and we, like you say, we got to regain that and play it from 0-0 here on out. We're going to get the ball in the second half here, and we got to do something with it.
Okay, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thanks.
All right, thank you, guys. We'll send it up to Leah Mark.
All right, Matt, thank you very much. Well, when we revisit the keys to the game, there were some pretty prescient comments made by the coaches before the game that are really coming true here today that are keys.
Well, one of the things is Lena Winslow thought about taking the ball away. Now they've given it up, so they got to make some adjustments there. But I thought it was interesting that Coach Aaron said that they have to get some 3 and outs, and that's so important, because there's no doubt that Tri-Valley running game has just been a possession clock eater to the tune of over 16 minutes. So you got to get that first down stop, not the 3rd down stop, but the first down to make it 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9, so then you can really tee off and make them throw the football, something Tri-Valley doesn't want to do.
Josh Root talked about line play, ball security, keep 24 in check, and all those have come into play here in the first half. Coming up next here on the IHSA TV network, we've got Newman Central Catholic taking on Staunton. That should be an exciting, interesting game. Staunton lost their last 3 regular season games, but here they are in the state championship game. Stillman Valley taking on St. Joe Ogden, and then it's perennial state power Geneseo in the state championship game against Rochester Derek Leonard's team, trying to win their 4th straight state championship. And of course, his dad's team will play here tomorrow. Springfield Sacred Heart Griffin will play for a state title tomorrow morning, kicking things off in 5A. 5A, 6A, 7A, 8A, all tomorrow here from DeKalb. And we've still got 24 minutes of 1A football left for you here. Tri-Valley ranked 5th in the final rankings. Lena Winslow unranked. They're going toe-to-toe for a state championship. Lena Winslow will get the ball to take over, or to start the 3rd quarter, we should say. And here's Olson. Olson brings it out across the 25-yard line, and that's where maybe Chicago Leo would be here playing for a state championship.
Yeah, they thought speed would be a factor in that game, and it was, but Lena Winslow showed some speed of their own. You see Ben Mess, quarterback, at 6'4". That's a nice size for the quarterback stepping under center. He's a 4.0 student. He's thrown for over 1,300 yards. He has to have a good second half.
Hank Holm now in there offensively.
Tackled by number 6, Jonah Long.
That was Oakley with the carry at that time.
Little toss sweep, and Oakley was not able to, turn the corner. Good open field tackle as a little bit of help. A nice stop by Jonah Long.
Pickup of a couple. No, I'm not seeing things. That is Holman there, number 32 in the backfield. Best back to throw. Looking deep, has a man, and he's open and complete to Luke Schubert. Luke Schubert with the reception. A pickup of 32, first completion of the game for quarterback Ben Mest.
Well, that's Schubert's 30th catch. We had just mentioned at halftime we thought they'd come out and have to throw the football to kind of loosen up that defense. They went with their go-to guy, Schubert, who got some separation into the secondary. Well-thrown ball on time, on target with poise by Mest on cue.
And now it's back to the wishbone. Elders gets outside, picks up about 5. So Lena Winslow throwing some change-ups here to start the third quarter.
Well, Elders comes into this football game 443 yards, 5.5 yards per pop. And you know what? You get a little bit of bounce in your step after you get an explosive play. With that pass play has really given Lena Winslow a little bit of giddy up right now, a little bit more bounce in their step. And football is a game of momentum. And momentum is, a choice. You either decide you're going to be in a positive, you decide you're going to be in a negative, but sometimes a single play can turn around your offensive thoughts.
2nd and 5, Oakley hesitates and picks up a couple there. This offensive line for Lena Winslow, it's a new line of work for many of them. Oberle, the left guard, played fullback last year, where Hain is the right guard, played tight end and fullback a year ago. Milliken at left tackle. This is his first year of football. And Behrens, the center, played guard. And Rick Aaron talks about this O-line. We keep getting a little better at that position every week.
This team averages 357 yards of offense per game. They came in at only 34 in the first half.
Oakley picks his way through the Vikings defense for a first down.
You see the reverse spin. Oakley finds a hole of vision. He knows he's going to get contact, but he goes ahead, just lowers his shoulder and fights for a little bit of extra yardage after contact.
Oakley on first down, takes it inside the 20 into the red zone. So a very nice drive here to start the second half.
Well, they went with wishbone. You talked about Frank Holmes, 6'1", 185, being in the backfield. He led right there. He led there. He's in there in a block, playing some smash mouth football up front. And a good job blocking at the point of attack by Holmes.
Just the third first down for Lena Winslow in this game. 9 minutes to go, third quarter. Here's the give to Elders. And he'll pick up a first down inside the 15-yard line. Elders 483 yards, 8 touchdowns on the season coming into this ballgame.
Now Elders goes ahead and he reads a block of Tyler Oakley. So Tyler Oakley was, the guy that's the feature back, the guy that's got over 15 yards running, but good backs just like linemen complement each other. There's Oakley right there, 24 with a push-out block, and then the nice read by Elders. Nice 1-2 punch.
Oakley tripped up by Kinsella at the line of scrimmage. He'll pick up a yard or two there.
So this drive started their own 25-yard line, now well into the Tri-Valley red zone. A very efficient drive running the football, but that one pass play is the one that really opened things up. The one pass play that Schubert caught for the big gain really opened up the defensive scheme.
Elders right up central and not a lot of room there.
Brandon Elders blocker.
Mike Edwards with the tackle.
Mike Edwards.
Interesting. Elders came in with 80 carries, but he's getting the
11.
brunt of this particular drive.
Rick Aaron just changing things up. That passing game, that one pass has opened up some room.
Could be play action here.
3rd and 7. Mess looking to throw. He's under pressure, and a host of tacklers. Well, they still haven't brought him down, but they will whistle him down now. He's in the grasp.
He did indeed go with play action. Mess fakes a fullback dive. He wanted a pop pass to his man right over the middle, Matt Green, the tight end, but they covered that up. A fake. Mess looking for the pass. Nothing going, and again, 3 or 4 white shirts around him in the passing game on a 3-step drop play action.
Well, he's lucky Kinsella didn't take that right out of his hand. It's 4th and 7, and they're going to go for it. 21-14.
Now, some of this might be their kicking game. Some of this might be the respective Tri-Valley's running game, but they need 7.
Mess rolling right. It's complete and out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Luke Schubert, his second catch of this drive.
That was a well-executed play right there. Schubert runs a nice route. Look at Mest on a rollout. He locks in on one man and one man only, his leading receiver. A nice outside wheel route by Schubert. See Mest square his shoulders, deliver on time, on target. Again, knowing where the sticks were at.
Gutsy call on 4th and 7 and good execution by the Panthers.
On the clock, 6-4-7.
Mess came in 75 for 132. He's only been picked 3 times, so even though they don't throw it a lot, 132 times in 13 games, only 10 a game, he's been very efficient with his passing game, and he's found Schubert twice, his favorite target.
Oakley met at the goal line and denied. Long in there on the tackle, Jonah Long.
Boy, what a hit Jonah Long did. Low pad, level 5'10", 175. And when you are able to drive Oakley back, that says something. Boom, look at that pop. And then the cavalry came in, but it was Long that basically saved the touchdown first. What a great individual play against an excellent back.
2nd and goal, 13th play of the drive. Elders denied at the goal line.
I tell you what, it gets tough yardage down there, and there's another initial hit. Was that Long again? Oh my goodness, but once again, 3 or 4 white shirts. Logan Dressel was the one that made the first contact, but there's been numerous plays where there's been numerous white shirts around the ball carrier today.
Derek Wegman egging on the Tri-Valley crowd. 3rd and goal. Takes it in on the keep.
We talked about Mess size at 6'4", 195 instead of taking the ball into the backfield. Mess with a masterful leadership on this drive. Couple big pass plays. The 4th down play is the one that will go as the biggest in this drive, along with a long pass play. And well-executed ball control. A big-time drive by the Panthers of Lena Winslow.
And right up for the extra point. Mess can't handle the snap. Bad snap. And that could loom large in this ball game. Boy, Rick Aaron is just beside himself. You gotta, my goodness. We take him for granted, but we shouldn't. It's a 1-point game.
21-20, Tri-Valley still with the lead thanks to the missed extra point. Talking to the staff here at halftime, the biggest concern for him is stopping the run for Tri-Valley and trying to get that push up front. They're just not getting what they want, and they're hoping that Anthony Martinez and Alan Maali can really start to get some push up there and shorten the down or lengthen the down and distance, I should say, for Tri-Valley. Same goes for Matt Green, leading the way with 84 tackles coming into this one. Got to be a big impact here in this 3rd quarter, guys.
All right, man. Boy, it has to be disheartening, though. I mean, you think you're Lena Winslow, you're Rick Aaron, you're thinking, boy, my guys did what I wanted them to do. They got the opening drive of the 3rd quarter, and then they miss an extra point. It may or may not play a factor in this game. Short kick, Long brings it out to about the 40-yard line. Here's the extra point.
Every point an important one. The ball came up a little bit high. Mest, usually sure hands, was not able to bring it down and get it down. You want to turn the laces away from the kicker, but he didn't have any time even to catch the ball, get it down. Pretty good penetration by Tri-Valley to stop any kind of opportunity to run a 2-point conversion after the breakdown when they yell fire, fire.
Peyton Roop. They're saying a fumble. Lena Winslow says they have it.
They got a turnover.
And they are now indicating it is Lena Winslow ball. Kind of slow to indicate there.
Winslow takes over at the Tri-Valley 42-yard line.
The second fumble of the game, and now it's Lena Winslow grabbing the momentum back.
Well, that was a zone read again, option football, and Roop did not give it to Wilson. He probably at this point wishes he would have. I don't know if he just lost control. You can't even tell in the pile, or if there was a hit. A lot of attention in the middle of the field.
Oakley and the Panthers trying to take advantage. Good gain on first down, and now a little extracurricular activity as one player loses his hat. It was Oakley.
Now, how about the change in this? In this quarter, Lena Winslow's had the ball the entire time. It's Tri-Valley that's run only one play. So a big difference from the first quarter where we had the opposite end of the continuum going on.
15 more. We have a personal foul. White. Face mask.
So a penalty will add to this nice gain by Oakley.
A little grabbing the face mask right there. Actually ripped his helmet right off. Patrick Kinsella got his hand in there, couldn't get his hand off in time. As you see him walking away with, you know, he'd like to have that opportunity back, but
Tri-Valley takes timeout, and Lena Winslow has taken control of the momentum.
I think that's a great timeout by Josh Roop. It's that's almost like a basketball timeout. That's almost like a basketball timeout as far as just settling his team down and making sure that they're under control, that they know they just make the next play, not any panic in them right now. That's what he's trying to do, is settle his team down. You know, sometimes you want to play football with emotion. Sometimes you got to keep your emotions in check, and right now they want to keep their emotions in check and just make sure that they take care of their responsibilities, read their keys, what have you.
That's a great point. That's a great point. The Tri-Valley fans are a little perplexed at what they're seeing here as it started of the third quarter. Actually, we're just 5 minutes to go in this third quarter. Newman Catholic up against Staunton coming up next in Class 2A. Stillman Valley and St. Joe Ogden in 3A. And then it's Rochester and Geneseo tonight. Here's the pitch to Elders. He's got room to run outside. Nice block by Oakley out there in space. And Elders is down to about the 10-yard line. He is really able to get outside with the football well.
Elders, right now, he's been the man in the third quarter, and you called a great one. It's Oakley that just drove his man back, and it's all about reading the block. Elders did the rest. A little toss sweep. And the thing about a toss sweep is if you can get your man going downhill, if you can time up your toss on that where he's going vertically rather horizontally, get your shoulder square, you're a much better runner.
2nd and 3. Here's the pitch to Oakley going the other direction. He's inside the 5, brought down to the 2. Ball comes out, but it's after the whistle. And Oakley has Lena Winslow knocking on the door again.
Well, they get the ball to Oakley in a hurry on the perimeter. They want to utilize his speed. And a nice touchdown saving tackle moving in at least for now. Right there.
Like a little block in the pack there too.
And the ball came up. But Jared Nelson, I think the ball was already down, but Jared Nelson's been around an awful lot of big plays defensively here today.
1st and goal, straight ahead. And it's home down at the 1.
You see the touchdown saving tackle at the legs. Making the tackle was Nelson. The ball came out. Nelson was right there ready to recover, make the hit and the recovery, but they ruled it down.
2nd and goal. Fumble! And Holm pounces on it.
And Holm
bad exchange that time.
Yeah, and Holm has been a big part of this second half surge for Lena Winslow. That ball never came up clean, and Holm follows it right from behind. But he's been a difference maker. That fumble recovery was huge, but he's done a great job blocking to say insert him at the fullback position.
Near the 3-minute mark in the third quarter. Here's the give to Oakley, and he's in for the score from 2 yards out. His third touchdown of the day.
Yeah, that one, you know what? Sometimes you'd rather be late than early. What I mean by that is, you know, you always hear about hitting a hole quickly. Oakley waited for that to develop as he read his blocks. He was going to the outside. He cut it back to the inside. A nice run sliding off his left side.
And the Panthers will go for 2 here. Mast rolling out. And it's a 2-point conversion to Luke Schubert. That's his main man today. Third completion to Luke Schubert. That one for 2 points. Tyler Oakley has had a couple of amazing fumble recovery runs. This one a little more bread and butter here. And then the 2-point conversion to make it a 7-point Panthers lead. And we're back, Lena Winslow, 28-21. It's been all Panthers here in the third quarter. Let's take a look at our officials for today's game. Ryan Habert, Larry Kirchner, Larry Steen, Craig Page, and Jeffrey. I'm not even going to try because I'll get it wrong. Congratulations to you all.
8:53 time of possession in the third quarter for Lena Winslow. 5 seconds, 1 play for Tri-Valley. So that's the opposite end of what we saw in the first quarter, where Tri-Valley had the football, fumbled twice, and Oakley carried 2 of them back for touchdowns. So just a crazy, crazy storyline in this game.
It has not been your run-of-the-mill football game for sure. Long fields it at his own 15. He's still on his feet at the 30. And you really have to pay attention in this game after a pickup of 15. You really have to pay attention in this game to make sure that the runner is down and the football's still in his hands, because we've had a lot of turnovers in this game.
Well, you normally would think, you know, when you get teams of this caliber, championship caliber at each level, that, you know, ball security turnovers would be at a minimum. But you throw in the fact that it's a championship game and the nerves, the jitters, those things, as well as, you know, the cold hands that they're not used to playing with, have found the ball on the turf on, what, 5 or 6 occasions here this morning.
Tri-Valley just got to take care of the football and do what you do. And Root fumbled it again.
So I think it's really good they came right back to Root on that read, option read.
Wegman was there to save the day.
See the fake, the fullback, Wilson, draws a lot of attention, and that ball did come, but able to cover up was Tri-Valley.
Luke Schubert got a hand on it. Rick Aaron says he's the best overall athlete on this team. 2nd and 1. Boy, that would have been a disastrous fumble for the Vikings. Tyler Oakley wrapped up and brought down as Aaron's in there on the tackle. Elders, not Aaron's, Elders.
Great penetration. See the defense get right into the gap, fighting off a block, and then in space, Elders with a nice tackle. And right now, 3rd and short, you'll probably see Lena Winslow, if you get a chance, a wide shot, you'll probably see 9 guys in the tackle box with only 2 safeties, just basically trying to just shut down Tri-Valley running the football.
3rd and 4, Tri-Valley 3 of 6 on 3rd down in this game.
Look at all those people in the box, 2 safeties, as we mentioned.
Wilson bounces off 1 tackle, bounces off another, still on his feet across midfield, trying to hang on to that football as Lena Winslow tries to strip it, and he is down at about the 42-yard line. 22 yards on the 3rd and 3 for Caleb Wilson.
He's like Ricochet Rabbit. Watch him. He gets hit at the line of scrimmage. Everything else, hit again, bing, 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 like a pinball, just bouncing off people. He took his first hit in the backfield before he goes for a nice jaunt in the open field.
Over 3,500 career yards for Caleb Wilson coming into this game. All-time leading rusher at Tri-Valley. Not much there that time for Roop.
Wilson over the 100-yard mark on the afternoon in this football game. He's been the go-to guy, and I think he'll be the workhorse the rest of the way.
Under a minute to go now, 3rd quarter, 28-21. Lena Winslow with 14 unanswered points here in the 3rd period. Wilson to the left side. He's close to another Tri-Valley first down, although I think they're going to mark him about a yard short. He bounced a yard after he was down.
Inside handoff, power football. They're going with a fullback, running between the tackles. They do have things set up where they want to go back to Braden Herman now, who's been relatively quiet this quarter. Of course, this is only their 2nd drive of the quarter.
3rd and a yard. Wilson. Boy. Yeah, at this point, it'd be hard to not just keep feeding the beast, wouldn't it?
No, he's just a horse up front. There's no doubt about it. He right now, you see that he got the eye of the tiger. He's got those Mike Singletary eyes right now, to be honest with you. I mean, he really does. He's looking right at that defense saying, I'm coming right at you with 1 quarter to go.
Quite a wild contest here. We are 3 quarters into it. 12 minutes to go for the 1A state championship. Don't go away, because we have no idea what's going to happen in this one. 28-21, Lena Winslow leads as we start the 4th quarter of this Class 1A state championship game from Husky Stadium in DeKalb, Illinois. Newman Central Catholic against Staunton coming up next here on the IHSA TV network. Stillman Valley and St. Joe Ogden for the 3A title. And then it's Geneseo trying to deny Rochester a 4th straight state title.
Well, Caleb Wilson, 14 carries, 132 yards. He's been the man. And go to him if you can.
He gets outside the tackle there and picks up a couple. He's got quick feet, doesn't he? I mean, he really bounced outside there nicely. He didn't get a lot of yardage, but he is really able to pick his way through. And I really love that touchdown run from the first half where he ran into a wall and just went the opposite direction.
45 consecutive starts. That's a storyline how durable that young man is. We talked about his ability to hit a hole quickly, his yards after contact, his vision. He's just a complete ball player.
2nd and 7. He's got another good gain here. 165 yards, 3 touchdowns for Caleb in their win over KZ Westfield. And you look at the road to state for Tri-Valley and the teams they've beaten: perennial power KZ Westfield, defending state champ Monroe Forsyth, and now they go up against Lena Winslow, a perennial state power and a state champion in 2010. And a lot of these seniors were on that 2010 team as freshmen and got in that game, which was a blowout win.
So they've been there and done that. Now this play selection will be 4-down play selection of the spot of the field.
Wilson takes a pretty good shot from Hank Holm and picks up a couple. And it'll be 4th down and maybe a couple here for the Vikings.
Now normally it's option football. I think the option will be taken out of this. I mean, you flat out have to give the ball to Caleb Wilson. You know, you're in a 4th down situation. It's going to be strength against strength in the trenches. It's going to be Caleb Wilson. And it's going to be his job just to move the pile for what, about a yard.
4th and 1. There's a flag. Oh my goodness. Josh Roop has his hands up. He doesn't understand.
I don't understand that either. As far as it didn't seem like any inordinate amount of time right there compared to everything else. The snap clock, you know, the college snap clock is in front of us, and they are using it, so the quarterback has a chance to look right at that snap clock. That's Peyton Roop. this changes complexion as far as play selection. They've not thrown the football today.
On a 3rd down and 4 in the 3rd quarter, Wilson got 22 yards, and now another whistle. And Josh Roop will take timeout.
Well, you know, one thing about Tri-Valley, you see Josh Roop right there. Their motto and the shirts they wore all summer said play strong 48-14, which is actually a biblical scripture reading, and what they turned that into was 48 minutes, 14 games. So that's the motto, and that'll come down to that kind of situation right now, 48-14.
Well, we've seen some odd things in this ball game, and now Tri-Valley is trying to regain that momentum they got away from them in the 3rd quarter.
Well, you know, they didn't run very many plays in the 3rd quarter. They got a sustained drive going now. Then a penalty has really hurt them, moved things back. And play selection, both coaches utilizing this timeout to go over tendencies, things they've broken down in film. And the tendency to Tri-Valley is to run the football, but that play selection with the 5-yard penalty may have changed right now.
Absolutely. It's 4th down and 6 now for Tri-Valley. Lena Winslow needs a big stop here.
And that 48-14 I talked about, that's 48 minutes is, again, from their perspective, 48 minutes of football, 14 games, and it's coming down to these kind of plays right now.
Caleb Wilson lined up behind Root. Here's the quick give, now reversed along. Now the pitch to Root, and he's brought down. They try a little razzle-dazzle, and Lena Winslow sniffs it out and denies Tri-Valley on 4th down and 6. Matt Green in on the stop.
Well, what a great play. It's all about reading your keys and staying at home. There's a handoff, there's the reverse, and there's the pitch back. And staying right at home, turning the play back in. No doubt about it was Tyler Oakley doing up both sides of the football. Staying right at home, and boom, nice one-on-one tackle in space.
So the Panthers take over. Here's the give to Elders. He's going to try to get outside left, and he has been able to do that. And he's stuck and knocked the ball out of bounds. Herman, pretty good hit there. Elders fumbled it, but it goes out of bounds. And Lena Winslow catching a break there, then it went out.
So once again, we see Tri-Valley. They don't like to pass the football. That's not a secret. And here's the very next play with the hit on the football on Elders. Unfortunately, goes out of bounds.
9 fumbles combined in this game. Well, it's been hard to hang on to the pigskin.
Yeah, there's been some hard hits, though, as well.
Under 10 minutes to go now. Here's the give to Oakley. He's brought down by Derek Wegman.
We got a running clock on a running play. So Tri-Valley, the clock is its enemy. For Lena Winslow, it's all about ball security, taking time in the huddle, shortening the game right now. And if you can move the chains on some first downs, running the football, see the double tight end set, you can really shorten this football game closer to a state title.
Oakley tries to get outside. He doesn't get anywhere. Brock Danko in on the stop.
Handoff inside, handoff getting to the outside was Oakley. But one hit that just resounds all the way up to the press box.
Check that, that was Braden Herman. Yep. Good job of stringing it out there for the Vikings defense. Second and 12. The pitch to Oakley. He tries to get to the corner. There's a flag on the play. Good pursuit by Peyton Roop there on the tackle, but there's a flag.
Thrown right toward the line where you normally see a holding situation, but they'll still sort it out. See Coach Roop saying, take it back, take it back.
We have a sideline line black. Sideline line black.
So no flag, basically just a warning. Jaron getting a explanation from the official.
So it'll be 3rd and 12.
Guy would be Schubert once again. They've been successful on some play action passing with him.
Leslie gives a handoff to Oakley, trying to get outside, and a nice job by the Vikings defense. Braden Herman got in there and made life difficult for Tyler Oakley.
Oakley, they're spying him. What I mean by that is there is a Tri-Valley player. I don't know who they're assigned to him right now. They've mixed it up. That is supposed to follow Oakley anywhere he goes, whether it's to the sideline, whether it's to the men's room, what have you. They're following Oakley wherever he goes. 4th down. This could basically buy another 2.5 minutes.
Ben Mess has struggled with his punting in this game. Herman is back to another shank off the side of his foot. I don't know if he's had that kind of trouble all year, but another punt of 20 yards or less, 18 on that punt, so it will be Tri-Valley ball near the 40-yard line when we come back. Lena Winslow, 28-21 over Tri-Valley. The Vikings with the ball, trying to come back. Let's go downstairs to Chloe Barnes.
You guys, you spoke a little bit about the 48-14 mantra that this Tri-Valley team has adopted over this past season. They had a heartbreaking loss last year by a last-minute field goal in the 2012 playoffs. And ever since then, Coach Rube had adopted this mantra to remind the team to play hard for 48 minutes for the entire 14 games. And right now, with 7:29 left between them and a state championship, I can't imagine any other time where that mantra would be just as important. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, Chloe, thank you very much. This team, and we mentioned this a little bit earlier too, Mark, they had 6 guys out when they lost. 6 of their starters were lost to injury, including their leading rusher, Braden Herman. So they felt like last year they had a team that could have made it to state. Injuries are part of the game. We all know that. So but they kind of had that deal all year where they felt like, we want to get back. We can do this.
Well, to put 14 games on your shirt, that shows the vision they had.
Caleb Wilson with the run there, and another thing this team has kind of rallied around. They lost a teammate, Ryan McDonald, after last season, and he passed away, and they bring his jersey to every game. And this is a very tight-knit bunch of kids. There's a lot of brothers on this team, four sets of brothers, and they're all senior sophomores, which I think is neat, because the seniors have to drive the sophomores around at least until they get their license, and they're all bumming rides with their big brothers. So very close-knit team. You talk about a team being family. This team really literally is family. Root takes it across, or actually out toward midfield, just a yard shy of the 50-yard line on 2nd and 8, and he's got a Vikings first down. Well, he's marked down at the 47, so he's pretty close to it.
Tough
just
spot,
a little short.
Tough spot. I thought he had it. So we definitely have 4-down situation. That's part of the play calling. And again, you're going to ride the man that has brought you there. He is number 45 walking right into your living room, because he's probably going to touch a football right here.
3rd and 1. Wilson straight ahead.
So Wilson's hitting the 48 or the 49, and he basically carried 2 or 3 defenders of Lena Winslow with him. Just powerful lower leg drive. And what a resilient young man, 146 yards rushing right now, and I think he's going to get a few more. Will this be the drive that they talk about when you are talking about Tri-Valley?
Under 6 minutes to go in this one. They need a score to tie this game. Group follows Wilson.
Well, you can hear the pads popping, can't you, right now? There's some extra big-time hitting right now.
Well, it's been a pretty wild game. A couple of long fumble recoveries for touchdowns. The ball's been on the field a lot with fumbles, but it's coming right down to straight ahead football here in the final 5 minutes plus.
And with Tri-Valley being about 100% run, you got to figure, honestly, this might be their last drive. Because if they keep it for a couple more minutes, if they don't get it in and give the ball back to Lena Winslow, there's not too many more possessions left in this football game.
Second man through is Herman, nowhere to go that time. Luke Schubert there for the tackle, number 8.
What a big time hit by Schubert, who's a little bit dinged himself but giving his body up. He has 10 solo tackles, 12 overall in the game. And you see a big time stick right there. Hank Holm with 13 solos right now for Lena Winslow. Probably a little bit of a stinger right there as you see him holding his arm.
3rd and 6 for the Vikings. Root keeps it himself. Not much room there out to the 40. He'll bring up 4th down. Be 4th and 5.
Nice tackle by Brandon Elders coming up from the corner possession. So the defensive end had the pitch man, and that time the corner had the cornerback. They try to switch up responsibilities to confuse the quarterback making his reads.
4th and 5. The Lena Winslow fans on their feet. So are the Tri-Valley fans. Under 4 minutes to go.
Good timeout. You can't put it in your back pocket.
Tri-Valley takes its last timeout. Josh Root knows this could be his season right here.
No timeouts. If you don't convert, you give the ball back to Lena Winslow, who's had an outstanding second half, with the clock being their ally at this juncture. Some hard hitting, some fumbles, and hopefully the beneficiary of a couple of them.
2 fumble recoveries for a touchdown. You talk about being in the right place at the right time, and he was there twice. Picked up a rolling football 2 times and took it to the house. That's pretty impressive.
And you're right. And great football players are at the right place at the right time. I mean, you know, that's why playmakers, that's why he's an all-stater. That's why he's, you know, being wooed by Wisconsin. He's going to walk on there. And there's another guy who can flat out play football.
Caleb Wilson.
Caleb Wilson is the real deal. He is as good as you can be in yards after contact. He's not brought down by one person. And we could have your state championship game on the line right here as you call this play.
4th and 5. If you're Josh Root, do you try and change up a little bit? We saw a little razzle-dazzle on the last 4th down play. They haven't thrown a pass yet today. Let's see what he goes to in his playbook here on 4th and 5. Down and touchdown, under 4 minutes to go for the 1A state championship.
Peyton Rube only 9 for 28 all year long.
The pitch is to Wilson. He tries to get an edge, and he can't get out there. He's met at the 40-yard line by Oakley and denied and knocked out of bounds. It'll be Lena Winslow ball after that defensive stop. Wilson unable to get the edge.
How about Oakley doing some double duty in his own right? As he just, you know, Verhaen extends a play, and then Oakley lowers his shoulder and brings him down all by his lonesome. Great individual tackle. He's made back-to-back tackles from the cornerback position, and now you'll see him run it a few times as they're close to a state title. Look at Coach right there. Can't do anything about that, Josh Root, but watch the play develop and know that it was extended as he sees his season in jeopardy.
Gives to Oakley, not much there.
We talk about his season. It's been a championship season, but can he get over the top? Or will Lena Winslow be able to chew this clock and run it out to a title?
Josh Root used his last time out in that last drive, so Lena Winslow will take their time here.
They should snap each and every time at about the 3-second mark on the play clock, which is right in the front of the quarterback, Ben Mest.
It's down to 3 right now. Pitches to Oakley.
You know, Ben Mest had a situation in his own right 2 years ago. He was in a major car accident. He and his friends, 3 other friends, were out deer hunting That's what they do in Lena Winslow. They deer hunt. They hit an ice patch and had a rollover. Mest broke 3 different bones in that car accident. And, you know, I guarantee you, very thankful that he's out after rehabbing and having a chance to play football. But a great storyline for their senior quarterback, Ben Mest, who's a 4.0 student in his own right.
Came back and played football that fall.
Yep.
2:30 to play. 3rd down and 4. Pitches to Elders. Flag on the play. A couple of flags on the play. Elders has got a 1st down if the play stands, but there are 2 flags, and it would appear holding will go against Lena Winslow.
Yeah, you're going to see a call holding. It's actually going to be an illegal block in the back is what happened. It's that you see on the outside, I believe it's going to be Luke Schubert on the outside trying to make a block. There it is in the backside.
Yep.
As he gets a crackback block. Good call, official right on it. And we can see it very well, you know, in real time from up here. So sets up a whole different scenario as far as a 3rd down situation.
They'll wind the clock now. We're about to set a record for fewest passes combined in a 1A state championship game. The old record was 9. We've got 5 so far. There is the Tri-Valley defense stopping Tyler Oakley. But is it too late? Is it enough?
So it'll be about 120 by the time they punt this football.
And the difference in this game right now, Tri-Valley has not got any points in the second half. Shut out in the second half by the Lena Winslow defense.
Lena Winslow averages 18 points a game defensively. They're right at that 21 for Tri-Valley. So Lena Winslow has been very stellar in the second half. They might call a timeout with 1 second to go here on the play clock.
And they will, to avoid the penalty. A minute 23 to go here. Let's take a look at our Country Financial play of the game. It was an omen. It was first drive of the game. Tri-Valley, the fumble on the pitch. Tyler Oakley is there, and then he's not there. He gone, as one might say.
Yeah, we're Hain with the fumble caused twice. Oakley with the fumble return for touchdown twice. So a nice combo right there. And Oakley gets it in stride. He's been the storyline, no doubt about it.
Country Financial play of the game. He's got over 200 yards of total offense with those 2 fumble recovery returns, and then 85 yards
25
rushing.
carries.
Wow.
And a touchdown rushing. So quite an afternoon. What will cap a stellar career for Tyler Oakley, the All-Stater.
Been to track 4 times, state track, I should say, and that's not surprising. He's been off to the races all day. A minute 23 to go. 4th down. Lena Winslow will have to punt. That one stays in bounds, and Herman will watch it bounce. And it'll take a Lena Winslow roll down inside the 20-yard line. Punt of 44, so a roll for Ben Mest. He struggled punting all day, but when he needed a big one, he got it.
So you got Tri-Valley, who has not attempted a pass, who has only attempted 29 passes all year, and who is out of timeouts with 81 yards to go.
In 111.
In 111, it doesn't look good, but you know what? Any single play can be a long one, an explosive, a home run, and that's all Tri-Valley can hope for right now. You'll see some depth, of course, in the Lena Winslow secondary.
Root looking to throw, and it's out of bounds. The intended receiver there was Derek Wegman.
And not only do they, have to throw because of their catching up and being out of timeouts, they can't afford an 8 or 12-yard run. Even to move the sticks, they have to stop the clock with the passing game. The timeouts relinquished earlier on in this half.
No scoring in this quarter. Minute 5 to play. Couple of touchdowns in the third for Lena Winslow, and they are the difference in this game so far. Root looking to throw, no one open, and he is brought down at the 15-yard line. And that will keep the clock running.
They wanted to throw back on this little slight handler. He's looking this way. He wants to throw back, but right there in coverage was number 52, looking right at the quarterback. That's Dylan Oberle. He was right there staying at home like he's coached to do. Well executed defensively right there by Lena Winslow.
30 seconds to go now. Root floats one out, and it's picked off. A fitting end to the day, and who's there at the ball but Tyler Oakley?
Oh my goodness, will that young man remember today? Of course all his teammates will, but that's about as fitting as can be. What he's done for his team today, it'll be one knee and then victory.
Our Burger King player of the game, Tyler Oakley. 2 fumble recoveries for touchdown. Another touchdown from scrimmage. And an interception. And the game of his life for the senior running back.
Throwing 83 yards rushing, and you have your player of the game, justifiably so.
Ben Mess takes a knee. So does Tyler Oakley.
Now that was just a quick second of thanks and praise right there by Tyler Oakley, and the celebration begins and the countdown does as well.
An outstanding season for Tri-Valley comes to an end. 1 touchdown short. Rick Aaron's Lena Winslow Panthers, your 1A state champions. What a job by Lena Winslow, both sides of the ball in the second half, after trailing and not having trailed by a touchdown at halftime and had nothing to show for it offensively.
Yeah, and you know, they got pushed around. Let's call it the first quarter. They got pushed around big time, but they get the 2 big fumble recoveries. Then they regroup and just played almost a perfect second half of football. They played a championship second half of football. They get the final takeaway after, getting the shutout, and 2013 state champions. The second time for Rick Aaron, first time in 2010.
A blowout win in 2010. Nail-biter here and an exciting game in 2013. Lena Winslow, your 1A state champions. We'll have the hardware presentation coming up next. Lena Winslow is your 1A state champion in 2013, a 28-21 win over Tri-Valley. Coming up next, it's Newman Central Catholic from Sterling taking on Staunton for the 2A state title. Stillman Valley playing St. Joe Ogden at 4 o'clock, followed by Geneseo and Rochester in our nightcap here from DeKalb. Let's go downstairs to Matt Rodewald.
Well, Rick Aaron, I tell you what, this particular game kind of mirrors your entire season. A couple of good breaks to go your way, some adversity, and you figured it out in the end. How about that?
Exactly. We made some adjustments at halftime defensively and really played a great. I mean, the second half didn't even resemble the first half on the offensive or defensive side, but from a defensive standpoint, I thought we made some great adjustments and really shut down their triple option. And like you say, we were very opportunistic of any turnovers they had. And I can't say enough about this group of kids. That's what they've done all year long, and they came up big again today.
You say opportunistic. How about Tyler Oakley? The ball seemed to find him today.
It's found him a lot this year here in the last 5 games, and he's just had a tremendous postseason for us after being injured almost the entire regular season. You're
not sure what kind of hand you had coming into August, but how proud are you of these kids in their second state championship?
Incredibly proud. It really they're a mirror image of 2010 when we won it, and we started off a little bit slow and we just got better every week, and this was the same, almost identical season. A couple more losses in there, but we played our butts off here about the last 8 weeks of the year, and the kids prepared so much, and they're diehards in the weight room, and I can't say enough about them.
Coach, congratulations. Enjoy your ceremony here. Let's send it over to Chloe Barnes, who has more. Chloe?
I am here with Lena Winslow Sr., Tyler Oakley. Tyler, what was going through your mind after you had that last-minute interception?
I can't even describe it. It was so many emotions mixed in one. I mean, no one expected us to do anything beginning of the year, maybe not even playoffs, and North is the toughest football in my opinion, and we stuck to it. We have faith in each other. We have faith in God, and it just came together, and couldn't write a better script.
You came out ready to play. You had 2 fumble recoveries for touchdowns. What did that do for your team's momentum?
Well, right off the bat, it helped us. I mean, we got them down early, and that's what we needed. We do that. We've been doing that throughout the playoffs. I mean, just get that up tempo and just keep going. But we ended up giving up some scores, and we were playing. That wasn't our ball in the beginning of the half. So came back at halftime, regrouped, and played our type of football.
Well, congratulations on a state championship. Please go celebrate with your team. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Chloe. Appreciate it. You know, Ben Schubert at the beginning of the year said a lot of people doubted us. A lot of people even doubted the playoffs for us. Just what Tyler just said. And Coach Aaron says we weren't very good, quite frankly, at the beginning of the year. But that's the beauty of athletics, of high school sports, is you can't always predict what's going to happen. You can't predict who's going to be there at the end, because a team that's lousy in August might be very good in November, which is what we saw here.
Well, you know, they didn't have many close games. 24-14 over Stockton was our closest playoff game. And then today they get outgained 253-160. 253-160, yet you win the state championship. So that's just about being opportunistic, as Coach talked about, Coach Aaron. And at the same time, it's the ability to make plays when plays are needed. And you can't win a 28-21 state championship game. You can't win a state championship game like that, 28-21, unless you make big plays at the right time.
And the one thing that, I mean, we talked about line play and Rick Aaron's team. We talked about the linemen that played different positions last year, moved to the line this year because that's where they were needed, and we're learning new positions as the year went on.
Well, you know, that's an excellent point. And when you're a football player, you can't get pigeonholed into I'm this position, I'm that position. You have to be a football player, and they have a team full of those, and especially at a smaller school enrollment-wise where you can't, you know, you don't have as big a pool to choose from, and that's what a team is all about, is when you're willing to make a transition for the good of everybody else. Football is a brotherhood, and that was borne out well here this afternoon with those changes that you just alluded to.
And they talk about football being a game of adjustments, and they talk about that in baseball too. And we saw maybe as good an adjustment by Lena Winslow first half to second defensively in their ability to keep Tri-Valley off the scoreboard.
Well, I think what they did is they really mixed up their coverages, not against the passing game because Tri-Valley didn't pass, but their reads between their outside linebacker and between their defensive end on who had the pitch man and who had the quarterback. And then, you know, we've talked about Oakley so much, but the bottom line is, besides his fumble coverage, he had a couple good individual sticks, some tackles in open field there in the second half as well to quench any drives. So he's just a complete football player, and he was indeed the difference maker today.
And it's all about mistakes in football and who makes the fewer mistakes. And in the end, Lena Winslow made fewer mistakes.
Yeah, you know, but the ball hit the ground 9 times today, 1 interception, so it wasn't pretty by any means. But, you know, when you're going to win a state championship by a 1-score game, it's, you know, that one more play. It's that one difference maker. And Lena Winslow had enough of that today to hoist a first-place trophy.
Our Menards trophy presentation. There's the second place trophy for the Tri-Valley Vikings, a program only in its 12th year in existence. They made the playoffs in their first year of existence under Brian Knutson, who's now the athletic director. Josh Roop has really, in the Heart of Illinois Conference, turned that program into a team, really a team to beat.
Well, there's good football played all over the state of Illinois, and you know, in the 1A level, you find the small communities that they grow up, they want to be part of that particular school's program. Coach Aaron talked about the weight room. And, you know, I know Coach Root the same thing. That's where those guys live. And you alluded to it on our open. You know, it'll start for those guys basically on Monday, you know, as far as getting ready for the next season, the next dream to chase.
Well, we expected Tyler Oakley to have a big impact on this game. Maybe not quite like this, though. He is the leading rusher for Lena Winslow, but opportunistic, right place at the right time. However you want to put it, Tyler Oakley got the job done today, picking up 2 fumbles and taking them to the house, 1 for 61 yards, 1 for 70 yards. He had this touchdown run as well. He had an interception. He rushed for 83 yards from the line of scrimmage, so well over 200 yards total offense.
You can see his head bowed down, now a smile, a complete game by a complete player.
Tyler Oakley, state track meet participant the last 4 years. Maybe headed to Wisconsin. They want him to walk on there. He was MVP of the summer camp up there. And my goodness, what a game he had today. 3 touchdowns, and they'll be talking about him for a long time in Lena Winslow.
Well, you know, he was just part of a defense that made some great, like we alluded to, some great adjustments along the way. And, you know, they put 8 and 9 up in the box, and why not? You know, they knew that their full focus was to stop the run. They didn't do it in the first half, but they flat out stopped the run. As you see the trophy being picked up, that's what happens when you make those adjustments and basically dominate the second half.
4-3 going into week 8. They win their 7th in a row here today and take home the 1A state championship trophy. Lena Winslow in the books as your 1A state champion, the 2nd state championship in school history, along with the win in 2010. Newman Central Catholic up next against Staunton. 3A and 4A to follow, and 4 more games for you tomorrow. Boy, if it's we are in for an exciting Thanksgiving weekend here in DeKalb. 2A state championship coming your way next.
The IHSA Football Championships are proudly presented by Country Financial. Achieve financial security.